My child, stop right there. I am speaking to you now, not later, not someday, not when you feel ready. I'm reaching into this moment right now and keeping you motionless. Because this is neither noise nor random. Not everyone should do this. I'm doing this for you, just the two of us. Before you think about anything else, I need you to feel that. This sounds familiar to me. I am aware of its similarities, but I'm not trying to trick you. I'm not trying to entice you with meaningless words. I am speaking in a way that you will understand so that you will stop long enough to hear the truth. You won't believe what I have for you. It's not intended to impress you. It is intended to make you feel good and restore order to your life. This was a planned moment, not particularly in general. I anticipated this moment long before you stopped, long before you even realized you were looking for something without knowing what it was. I carefully arranged it. Furthermore, the majority of people will never go through what you are about to go through. They never pause long enough to listen. Not because they are inferior to you. They continue to be busy. They continue to be preoccupied. They continue to be amused. Additionally, they fail to notice the silent door opening in front of them. You didn't overlook it. You're here. You don't realize how important that is on its own. My child, timing is everything. Won't have the same influence later. There won't be the same clarity tomorrow. There won't be another moment like this one. I'm not saying that to scare you. Moments are important. And this particular moment holds something special for you right now, which is why I am saying it. Delays in responding result in unnecessary expenses. Some doors close softly, silently, and unexpectedly just because the moment has passed. That is not what I want for you. I am speaking with seriousness wrapped in love because of this. Allow yourself to become curious in a different way, not the type that seeks out thrills. The more profound kind, the one that has been subtly inquiring as to whether there is anything beyond this routine, this wait, and this never-ending cycle. It's not a sign of weakness. It is the realization that your heart was created for purposes other than survival. Listen to me clearly. You won't be overwhelmed by what's about to happen. Your heart will become softer as a result. It will change your perception of who you are, your past, and what is still achievable. This word does not have a loud ending. It is profound. There is no fire in the sky when it arrives. It comes with comprehension. And comprehension subtly transforms everything from the inside out. Right now, heaven is not far away. Heaven is reaching out to you not to condemn or test you but to observe a moment of consciousness. These kinds of moments are closely observed because they are uncommon rather than because they are dramatic. Now that you are standing in one, you are secure. I am aware that pressure and urgency can both feel dangerous. So listen to me once more. No one is pushing you. We're inviting you. I'm becoming more serious, not scared. I'm not standing over you. I'm getting closer. When my voice becomes firm, my love remains the same. It becomes evident. Your perspective on life will be altered by what transpires next. Not immediately, not magically, but honestly, you will start to comprehend why some things felt heavy, why some paths never led to tranquility, and why your heart has been restless even when everything appeared to be going well. I'm giving you understanding. What comes next is clarity. Alignment or the peaceful return of a life to its proper position follows clarity. Give this moment your whole attention. Let your mind wander. Just enough of your heart should be open to remain in the moment. Perfection is not what I'm asking for. I'm requesting honesty. I'm not requesting assurances. I'm requesting awareness. The first truth is as follows. Hold on, please. You're not as lost as you believe. Not as far behind as you think. It's not as severed as it seems. You don't realize how close you are. And this is the evidence. Don't wait until it seems more secure. Don't hold off until you feel more powerful. Don't hold off until a more convenient time. Remain. Pay attention. Allow what follows to start working in you in a subtle, profound, and genuine way. There is a reason you were brought here. And that reason is being revealed at this very moment. Nothing about your arrival here went unnoticed. I have been observing the silent journey that brought you to this moment, the minor decisions, the pauses, and the inner restlessness that persisted despite your attempts to ignore it. You didn't just happen to come here. You came because something inside of you was at last prepared to hear what had previously been unreachable. If your heart is receptive to what I am about to say Amen aloud. You might have encountered something similar at other times, but you would have ignored it. On some days, your heart was too guarded, too exhausted, or too noisy to stop. I didn't push those times. I let them go. It wasn't because I didn't care, but rather because your heart wasn't ready to accept without rejecting. Urgency is not the only factor in timing. It has to do with preparedness. Because your life has not been random. This moment is not random. Even the parts of you that seemed chaotic were developing into something. Your awareness was being sharpened even by the delays. Even the setbacks were teaching you what it's like to have empty promises, so you would be able to spot the truth when it came quietly rather than loudly. I was working in ways you couldn't see while you were just going about your daily business. Finally, you are still sufficient to hear me say this, so spend a little more time with me here. Avoid reaching for the next diversion. Keep this hour separate from the others. Something that has been guarded for a long time is being put in front of you. And I want you to take it with both hands. I have been preparing you through experience rather than explanation. My child, I measured preparedness while you counted the days. I watched your heart while you looked at the calendar. I prevented you from taking certain paths that would have cost you more than you could have afforded. You were going to run into something that could have hurt you. So, I slowed things down for hours. I shut some doors that had a nice exterior but were actually painful. Sometimes you thought I wasn't there. I wasn't. I exercised caution. There were discussions you never had, choices that stalled, and opportunities that vanished. You questioned why. You believed you had overlooked something. To be honest, I was making room for this hour. I was trying to keep your life from moving too quickly so you wouldn't notice the deeper call that was growing inside of you. Divine timing, however, is not dramatic. It is accurate and gentle. It doesn't make a loud announcement. It quietly puts everything in its proper place. Things come together naturally when the time is right. You are experiencing that right now. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission grows into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. But more than your support, we want your presence. When you head to our community through the link in the description or the pinned comment, you aren't just visiting a site. You are entering a community of like-minded believers. This is a sanctuary where you can post your prayer requests, lift up the burdens of others, and engage in daily discussions with a family that speaks the language of faith. Whether you are joining one of our membership tiers for deeper study, sowing a seed of faith, or simply joining our daily morning prayers, you are helping us build a global altar of worship. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through a community that stands together. Each gift you give acts as living water for those in our community seeking healing and hope. Give and it will be given to you is the promise that sustains our shared mission. I invite you now to step out of the shadows and into this circle of prayer. Come with purpose. Join the conversation and plant your seed in fertile ground. Let's open the heavens together. Release your seed today. Join our community and see what God brings back into your life. There's a pause, a feeling of immobility is just long enough to hear. You might believe that destiny is a distant concept that is only applicable to certain types of people or lifestyles. But awareness, not accomplishment, is where destiny starts. It starts when you realize that there is more to this moment than meets the eye. Not all the time does destiny shout. Occasionally, it asks if you are willing to pause and listen while lowering its voice. I prepared you by allowing you to become weary of superficial responses. To make you yearn for guidance, I let you experience the pain of repetition. In order for you to cherish clarity when it arrived, I allowed you to experience silence. It wasn't wasted at all. It softened the parts of you that had previously resisted the truth. Since you are no longer seeking distraction, this is what you were supposed to hear. You want to be understood. Your heart has been asking more profound questions even though you may never have given it that name. Why does this continue to occur? Even though everything appears to be fine, why do I feel this way? Why does something seem incomplete? These inquiries do not indicate a lack of success. They are indicators of preparedness. This word has weight because it comes at a moment when you can feel serious without becoming alarmed. You don't have to shut down to sit with the truth. Drama is not necessary to sense importance. That indicates to me that you have matured. Though it's not always evident, growth can be seen in situations like this one. You have also been preparing invisibly. Your listening skills have been developing. We've tested your patience. You can no longer stand emptiness. That isn't a sign of weakness. That is a desire for something genuine. Additionally, hunger indicates that you are alive and prepared to be fed rather than distracted. Whisper. If this word is currently reaching your spirit, I think it is. What I am offering and what you need are aligning. Alignment is uncommon. It manifests when willingness, readiness, and timing momentarily converge. Because of this hour is valuable rather than fleeting. I don't frequently open these hours and I didn't open this one carelessly. I want you to see destiny as an invitation rather than a source of pressure. You are not required by destiny to transform into someone else. It challenges you to fully embrace who you already are. You don't have to rush the road ahead. You have to be there. My guidance becomes evident when I am present. You might have ignored this word if it had arrived sooner. It might have landed heavier than necessary if it had arrived later. It now comes with just the right amount of weight, enough to matter, but not enough to crush. It's not a coincidence that balance exists. It is a sign of a father who understands just how much his child can carry and when to give it to them. As you listen, something might start to settle in. There's a subtle realization that this fits in a way that other things haven't. That isn't creativity. That is preparedness for a truth meeting. It feels steady rather than chaotic when those two come together. I'm not going to divulge everything at once. I never show you everything at once. Purpose develops gradually rather than suddenly. However, this step is important. The first movement was to pause here. The next is to remain in the moment. Honest responses will come in due course. We're not hurrying you. You're being led. At this point in your life, direction is more important than speed. Where appearance is less important than depth, where comfort is less important than truth. It took time for those values to emerge. They were shaped by your way of life. Your past does not disqualify you. Your inquiries don't make you any less mine. If anything, they prepare you to listen, comprehend, and proceed with awareness rather than reaction. Allow yourself to experience the importance of this without becoming anxious about it. You don't have to worry about destiny. You must pay attention to it. Thus pay attention to this hour. Allow it to whisper to you. Allow it to become a part of your heart. Your path gently turns at this point. Not from who you are, but in the direction of who you have always been. I'm here with you, too. Not in front of you, requiring quickness. Not pushing you forward from behind. Beside you, directing every step as it is taken. Together, my child and I have traveled a great distance. I never once let go of the road, even during the seasons when you could not feel me walking it. And I never let go of you. It's not a coincidence. This is a moment set aside so you can finally realize that your life has deeper meaning than you have allowed yourself to believe. It is timing shaped by love and preparation, shaped by care. Stay here. What I'm about to say is the thing you've been thinking about for years without being able to name it. So let that understanding grow. What you thought this moment would be like, my child, was never what I planned to give you. People are always on the lookout for something new. Something that will shock them and news that will hold their attention for a short time. It starts out loud and goes away quickly. Divine revelation is not the same. It doesn't come at you quickly and force itself on you. It gets to work to wake you up. It's not meant to blow your mind. This is meant to help you remember who you are. You thought the surprise would be an answer, a sign, a sudden change in things, or something from the outside that would show this moment was important. But what I put together is more than just information. People can learn things and then forget them. Being shown the truth changes how you see yourself. And once that changes, nothing goes back to where it was. Surprised people want to know what happened. The divine asks, who are you becoming? That's why this moment feels heavier and quieter than you thought it would. You can already tell in your heart that this isn't about learning something new. You have to remember something true that has been buried by noise, fear, and doing the same thing over and over again. You don't need to keep the surprise a secret. It's your identity being shown to you. Being who you are doesn't happen like an announcement on the street. It comes as a sign of approval. It looks and feels like something you've seen before. However, it changes everything since you can't lie and say you didn't know it. You've spent a lot of time looking outside of yourself for signs, words, or explanations that would finally tell you what to do. I'm not ignoring their needs. I'm getting to the root of them. Once you know who you are, you can easily find your way. Any amount of information won't help when it comes to getting peace of mind. That's it. You're not what your fear made you think you were. You are not defined by the delays you had to deal with, the confusion you felt, or the times you felt lost. Those things shaped your path, but they're not your name. You've been living below your true potential, just surviving instead of living the life I gave you. This great news doesn't scream. It takes away the lies you start to believe slowly because the labels seem to fit your pain. It makes them less tight. It keeps what happened to you separate from who you are. And being apart from them makes you feel both better and worse because it forces you to stop answering to the name your wounds gave you. Let me keep talking about the deeper thing because this awakening is just getting started. You were hoping for a surprise that would make things different. I'm giving you one that changes your position. It's easier for things to change when the person in the situation knows who they are. Identity is the base on which everything else is built. The house won't shake during storms once the foundation is strong. This is why so many people never get to enjoy this moment. They wait for someone or something outside of themselves to save them. They want answers but don't want to wake up. They want change but don't want to be seen. But what I saw doesn't go around the heart. It goes right through it. You might feel something without knowing why. As this truth rises in you, a softness, a quiet ache, and the feeling that you are seen more clearly than usual. That is waking up. It's not loud to wake up. It's the truth. It's like coming back home after being away for a while. You were not as broken as you thought. You had a lot to carry. You were worn out. There was no one to help you hold on to your questions. You were never without value, direction, or purpose, though. They were always there below the surface. The truth was just waiting for the right time to come out without being shut down. This surprise isn't meant to be too much for you. In times when everything else seems uncertain, it's meant to keep you steady. Knowing who you are doesn't get rid of struggle. It just changes the way you think about it. What is wrong with me is no longer a question. You start to wonder what is making me. I'm not going to give you a list of things to fix. I am giving you back your sight. When you have a good picture of who you are, you naturally let go of what doesn't belong to you. Fear stops being powerful. Shame can't be heard. The fog of confusion lifts, not all at once, but slowly, like how grief brings a field back from the dark. This is another reason why the revelation couldn't happen sooner. You would have taken it as information if you hadn't planned ahead. You should have asked yourself, what do I do with this? Instead of letting it change who you are, you can now accept it without making it another burden. So take your time with this awakening. Do not name it or measure it right away. Getting awake is not a process that ends. You let it happen. As you get a better look at your life, it starts to unfold. Your worth never came from how useful you were, how successful you were, or how well you could keep everything together. You are worth what you say you are because someone planned how you were made. Because being there for me matters even when nothing seems to be solved. How you move should change now that you know that. Stop trying to get approval. You should stop comparing yourself to other people. You no longer think that being late means failing. Since then, you no longer work for worth, but instead live from truth. This is the surprise you didn't see coming. Not a surprise, not a twist, but a revelation. One that won't go away when this hour is over. One that keeps working in the background to help you make decisions, calm your fears, and regain your honor. Do not give up. Take a break. You don't need to change into someone else. You are being asked to remember who you have always been, even when things got loud. My child, this is a moment that most people never get to experience. Not because they are not loved or worthy, but because they have too much to handle. Their lives are constantly interrupted by noise, demands, and other things that keep them busy. They are always busy, so they never have time to listen. Because silence makes you think. Noise feels safer than silence. Truth needs to be heard and silence lets it happen. Distraction is not obvious. In no way does it come as rebellion. It shows up as being busy. It comes as wandering and fills up all the empty spaces so that nothing deeper can come to the surface. It comes as numbing, picking comfort over awareness, picking fun over reflection. A lot of people aren't angry and running away from me. They don't seem to notice the current as they drift away. The clothes of activity are often worn by avoidance. People stay busy to avoid feeling what they haven't dealt with. People stay around voices so they don't have to listen to their own hearts. They are always on the move. So they never have to think about where they are. It's not that they are weak. It's because being still feels dangerous when the truth is hiding below it. Most people don't want to give what it takes to listen deeply. It means admitting that there is something missing and that the surface has not been enough. A lot of people would rather get quick relief than understand something for a long time. They want answers without giving up, clarity without thinking, and peace without being honest. Not more work, but more openness is what deep listening needs. I'm not keeping this moment from other people. That's not how I work. However, not everyone picks awareness. Not everyone stops to listen when the truth speaks up. Some people feel the push and turn it off right away. Some people feel the weight of a moment and quickly dismiss it by moving on to something else. Some people hear the call and wait to answer it until it stops. This is why a lot of people never get here. They didn't want to stop because they were loved less, not because they were loved less. Being willing is quiet. It doesn't make itself known. It stays even though everything else tells it to go. You're not here because you are better than everyone else. You stopped and are now here. You stayed. You paid attention instead of ignoring the feeling that something was important. That doesn't make you better than them. That wakes you up. Also, being awake isn't a badge of honor. Being honest with yourself is a duty. I want you to feel picked without being proud of it. Being chosen doesn't mean being put above other people. It means being invited into a clear, purposeful moment. This invite doesn't cut you off from the rest of the world. It gets you ready to go through it with calmer eyes and a lighter heart. A lot of people mix up being picked with being unique. That's not what this is. This is about being ready. Ready to pay attention. Being ready to face the truth without fighting it. Are you ready to let your true self shine through instead of building yourself up out of fear and other people's opinions? Hearing is dulled by noise. It gets harder to feel direction when there is a lot of noise around the heart. The quiet voice inside gets dulled by constant noise. People forget how to pick up on gentle guidance over time. They think that depth is heavy and peace is boredom. They keep going back to the noise and don't understand why they stay empty. You feel different now that you let yourself be still. even if it was only for a moment. That was enough. You don't have to be still for a long time for it to be powerful. It only needs to be real. Delay is often a cover for avoidance. People tell themselves they'll listen, pray, and think about things later. It becomes a habit over time. Habits make us who we are. The moment is over before they know it, and the call is no longer clear. Not because it was taken away, but because no one ever called back. I don't yell to be heard over the noise. I am looking forward to being open. I wait for the hour when a heart is ready to rest because it is tired of beating fast. Not because it is hard, but because it takes courage to stop. Not many people are willing to do that. You got to this point because a part of you chose depth over distraction. Your heart may have chosen that name, not you. You knew in your heart that wandering would not calm what was stirring. It knew that noise couldn't answer the questions that were quietly building up in your mind. In this case, it's not about having enough faith or discipline. It means being honest enough to say that something is important. Being honest lets people in when noise keeps them out. As you listen, don't compare things. Don't compare yourself to people who aren't here. This moment is not meant to separate you from other people. It's meant to hold you down so you can move forward without getting lost. Most people never get to this point of stillness because they don't think they can stop. They believe that life requires constant movement. They think being busy shows that you are valuable. They believe that you have to work for rest and that listening is a nice thing to do. It's not a nice to have. That's what it is. Without it, nothing I build in life lasts long. You didn't try to get here. You didn't work for this hour. You replied to it. Response is easy to understand and strong. It changes a whole life without any work. Watch out for pride in this. Being aware opens doors that pride closes. Stay down. Be willing to learn. Being humble lets you receive without having to compare and lets you grow without having to be seen. Just because things are hard now doesn't mean they never will be again. It means you will have a hard time understanding. You'll notice distractions more quickly. You'll know when noise is taking your attention away from what's important. No, I'm not cutting you off from the world, my child. I'm making you stronger for what's coming next. Most people never get here because they don't think this is the right time for them. They think that someone else has depth. They think that clarity is hard to find and rare. You didn't just guess that. You stayed. That should still be true of you. Not perfectly and not without trouble, but with purpose. When the noise gets louder, go back to being still. When you get distracted, go back to listening. You came here because you paid attention. That's all. That's enough. And now that you've heard it, I can finally tell you something I've been meaning to say for a while. My child, something has been waiting for you in the background. Held, not lost, not forgotten, not taken away, carefully held until you were ready to receive it without being scared or confused. I want you to really get this because a lot of your questions came from the sense that nothing was going on, that you were being left behind, and that the long silence meant rejection. It didn't happen. Picture a wagon that was loaded a long time ago in a faraway land. The goods inside were sealed and marked with your name. It left on roads that you couldn't see. It went over rough terrain and thick mud. In some spots, the wheel sank and the load stayed still because of things you didn't know were there. Things that were said about you. trap set out in your way. There is resistance in the unseen realm that is meant to keep you from getting what is rightfully yours. The load took too long. It was always there. Now listen to this. I'm what pulls that wagon free. I'm like the wind behind it. I am the king, and this is my handwriting on the release. And if my kingdom says something, nothing in the world can stop it. What's yours can't go bad while you wait. I can't let it get away from me. It is now moving toward you. Some things can't get there early without getting broken. Certain blessings fall on hearts that were not ready to hold them. I didn't give you something heavy until your hands were strong enough, because I love you too much. Being blessed isn't just a gift. It's also a responsibility. If you don't align yourself first, what was meant to build you will bury you. As you waited, you felt like you were forgotten. You asked me if I could tell that your faith was weakening, your hope was fading, and your prayers were getting quieter. I saw everything. I didn't turn away. I moved in closer. Some nights you almost took less because the weight felt too heavy. In some situations, you chose what was easy instead of what was right. I walked right in. It was better for you that some things fell apart than to hold you back in life. That wasn't a loss. That saved the day. You planted when times were tough. You gave even though you didn't have much left. Even though the ground didn't give you anything back, you kept your hands together. I saw every single one of those seeds fall. While you stood in an empty field, people around you told stories about harvest. You didn't say anything, but you knew it. Listen up. The field was never empty. It worked behind the scenes. The way deep roots work before the ground is broken. The harvest that you couldn't see was getting stronger below ground. What you've been waiting for brings peace, not chaos. There is clarity, not confusion in it. It brings growth, not weariness. For that reason, you will know it when it comes. You won't have to push it. You won't have to get smaller to hold it. It will meet you where you are now after you have grown. The waiting itself taught you how to choose wisely. You now know the difference between having to act quickly and being ready. You learned how to walk without being praised. You learned to keep asking questions without giving up on yourself. Those lessons did not happen by chance. They made you who you are today. Know this, what was waiting for you needed the world to move, too. People had to move. Doors had to switch places. Not all of the ties had to come apart, but some had to. Some once you had to grow stronger. It takes a long time to align because it gathers many threads at once, not just the ones you can feel. Right now, you might feel more anticipation than impatience, which is recognition. The thought that something is not far away, but is now. That feeling is not made up. When you can look forward to something without getting anxious about it, that means the waiting is over. Let go of the idea that the delay means you are behind schedule. A lot of people ran ahead and reached first only to have what they grabbed fall apart in their hands. You stayed. You dealt with uncertainty. You asked, but your heart wasn't shut down. That was very important. You know that what's happening now isn't there to prove anything to anyone. It's time to make something that will last. It won't come with a roar. It will slowly get there. It won't be the noise it makes that will let you know what it is. You won't have to push doors open. People will change the subject on their own. There won't be any trouble getting what you need. The fight inside you will stop being so loud. These are the signs that you no longer need to wait. I couldn't give you some things earlier because you would have linked your name to them. They would have told you who you are. You now know who you are without them. That's why they can trust you with them. You can receive things without owning them. The waiting also made your desire stronger. You no longer want things that just shine. You want the truth. You don't look for things that make you feel good for a day anymore. You want to find something that will still be there in 10 years. The long road was all about that change. I know you asked why it was taking so long some nights. I know you felt pain as you watched other people move forward. I didn't skip those nights. I sat inside them. But love tells us not yet, not to hold back and to protect. Prepare yourself and know what I mean by prepared. Not tensed up, not scared, just open. Things that were put on hold are now moving. And they are getting faster. In my kingdom, things are never fixed again. The way things were. The years that seem to go by quickly will pay off in strength, wisdom, provision, and peace that you didn't have at the start. When I have my hand on it, time is not your enemy. Say it out loud. I accept what heaven has saved for me. As this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our COEF community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself. Jesus says this is not history. It is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. My child, if your hands are open today, there are times when life's weight is so constant that the soul wears down without anyone noticing. The quiet problems, not the big ones. More and more duties are added. The things that other people expect from you become burdens that no one can see. Before the day even starts, your mind starts to argue with itself. You don't say it out loud, but sometimes you wish you could just breathe for an hour without having to prove anything. Not far away, but closer than your breath. I have been there. I saw you keep going even though your soul begged you to stop. I saw you hold the family of your life together while your hands were shaking under the table. I could hear every word you hid to keep the peace. Every tough choice you made because it was the right thing to do. Even when no one thanked you, I didn't miss any of it. You are not being punished by what you are going through now. You can read it. A small space between what was and what will be. The road gets narrower here. The stress looks like it's coming from everywhere. It's not meant to crush you, though. Making you who you are. How deep places shape gold. How the press gets the oil out of the olives. What I'm making you into is bigger than the old things that held you back. The old fears, thoughts, and heart habits are breaking because they can't go on this journey with you. Details about who you are being fixed. I'm taking off the labels that other people put on you. Those words that you took as true were not mine. The picture of yourself that your wounds made and told you was true. I'm sending you back to the person I had in mind when I secretly made you and gave your body a purpose. The person I wanted, not the person other people thought I would be. A lot of people looked at your path from the outside and judged it without knowing what was going on inside you. But I don't see things the way they do. They look at the outside. When I look at the roots, I see healthy roots in you that you didn't even know you had. I saw your kindness when it would have been easier to be mean. I saw how humble you were when other people were putting themselves forward. I saw that you were honest when telling a lie would have kept you out of trouble. That is what will always have weight. That makes my heart beat faster. And I will pay back in full and more what the world never praised. Know what I'm doing, because that's not what most people call success. Applause, praise, and results that other people can count on are important for success. I'm taking you to fullness. Being full brings peace that doesn't look into the things first. Joy that stays strong in bad weather. Being aware of who you are when no one else can. Being exactly where you were meant to be. Being who you were meant to be. That's the country I'm taking you to. It will be my grace that shines through the most where you have felt weakest. What you thought was your flaw will become my strength. I don't want you to have perfect faith. I want one that is honest. It has been shown even when you had doubts and when you were sad. Being honest is where I plant things that will last forever. Some people tried to dim your light, but it wasn't always out of hatred. Often it was because they were jealous of you, but didn't want to admit it. They tried to bring you down, make you doubt your worth, and make you think you didn't have what it takes. Their words don't have the power to change what I've said. Any criticism you get will be drowned out by my blessing on your life. You don't have to defend yourself. The fruit will answer. Remember the mornings when you prayed but didn't feel like you could do it. The nights when my name was hard to form. Prayers did not fly off into the sky. No one was missed. They were kept in the same way that a king keeps important letters. They are being answered now in a way that you could not have planned. Results that could be seen were never used to measure faithfulness. It can be judged by how consistent the silence is. And you were always the same. Not perfect, not flawless. Gave up. That is worth a lot more than 1,000 wins. I have fought too. But you didn't know there was a battle. There were things blocking your way that you couldn't see. People said bad things about you in places you never went. That ground is now being cleared. I'm going against agreements made in the dark that were meant to stop your progress. Putting what I've chosen into your life doesn't need or wait for anyone else's permission. Some people will not understand why things start to open up for you all of a sudden. Why does something that was hard to move for years now move with ease? That's all you have to say. If you keep your heart in line with mine, I'll make sure everything else works out for you. Do not look for any more signs, my child. Don't compare your road to other people's roads. Your work with me is unique and not like anyone else's. It is unique. It goes deep. And when it can be seen, it will have a mark on it that no one else can claim. As they watch it happen, there will only be one way to explain it. It had to be God for this to happen. There were times of year I let you walk with less to show you that there is always enough for you with me. You learned it. You found the real source of your dependence. I trust you more now. More power, more resources, and more doors that are open. Not so you can be better than other people, but so you can be a way for my goodness to reach others. What is coming at you was never meant to end there. My child, I'm also getting your friends ready. I'm getting closer to you people who have good intentions and a vision that matches yours. The kind of bonds that help you, not hurt you. I'm also letting go of the ties that took more than they gave. Don't be scared if some people leave your life right now. Don't count it as a loss. What we think of as rejection is often just freedom. I'm making room for you because you can't walk the next part of your road with just anyone else. The people you care about are also part of this work. The names you pray over and the ones you tell me at night. I've heard all of them. The order I'm bringing into your life will also reach them. And you'll know when it does. You don't need to worry about carrying them. Trust them as you carry them. They are being held. As the road gets clearer, something you can't explain will start to settle over your heart. Not the quick kind that comes and goes. The kind that stays. Not because things are going well, but because you know who holds everything. True safety doesn't come from what you have, but from who you are in me. I am taking you to a place where you don't have to prove anything because you already have everything you need. The long period of work that didn't pay off is coming to an end. The time to plant without gathering is coming to an end. You are moving into a time when you can see with your own eyes what you used to only believe by faith. Things will go more quickly. Doors will open without telling you. Things that aren't natural will start to feel natural. It's not because life gets better. It's because your life and mine now match up. You didn't just learn to trust me when it was stormy. So that faith could become the air you breathe. I taught you how to live by faith. People will already believe what I've done, so you won't have to. The fruit will talk. The way your face changes will speak for itself. Your steady voice will speak for itself. And it will be easy for you to explain what happened when people ask you. I heard it. He talked. Everything turned. Listen to how I want you to leave now. Because how you carry it is just as important as what you got. Do not try to make it mean something. I didn't promise you anything today that you have to work hard for. You have to walk to get there. First one step, then the next. Trust it, it's okay to not make noise when the old fear comes back, because it will. Stay still inside and think about what was said to you at this time. What I have said cannot be changed by fear. Keep an eye on the quiet spot where we met today. Come back to it often, not as a ritual, but as a coming home. Every day, take a few honest moments to be still. My voice will keep your heart tuned to it, and your steps will be sure. The noise of the world will keep coming. Now you can taste something better. You understand the difference. Allow yourself some time as this happens. Revelation comes at once, but it grows over time. There will be days when every word of this burns inside you, and days when it seems so far away. There is growth on both days. Nothing was lost in the faraway days. It's still in the ground. The wagon is still on the path. I still have control over your life. Feelings tell you the weather. They don't measure the truth. Remember what I told you when the price goes up. It was never supposed to end with you. Allow it to flow. Give yourself the boost you needed. Say the kind thing you wanted to hear before. Stand next to someone the way you wished someone had stood next to you in the narrow space. Being lucky doesn't mean you have everything you need. There is no block on it. It will keep coming to you freely as long as it flows through you freely. You came to this hour with questions that you had stopped talking about out loud. Who you were if the long silence meant no. And if the best part of your story was already over, take those questions off the table now. You're more important than you thought. It was never a no from the quiet. And the best part of your story is still to come. It's being put on the table in front of you. So leave this moment different from how you found it. Heart steady, shoulders raised, eyes wide open. Not because something happened in an hour, but because you now understand what was always true. People know who you are. You are being held. You have been picked for a purpose that is just right for you. And the one who started this work in you doesn't give up on it. I finish what I start. I do what I say I'll do. I finish what I love. I love you. Now listen out for the little confirmations and the conversation that turns nicer than you thought it would. The provision that comes from a place you didn't think of. The weight that one morning isn't there at all. These are not just random events. You can find my fingerprints there. So don't ever think that my silence means I'm not there again. When I stop talking, this word doesn't end this week. You have to make decisions at work, at home, and in the decisions you have to make. Talk it back to me in the days to come. Don't forget what I promised. Why do you remember? Not because I forget, but because your faith grows stronger every time you do. You stopped. You stayed. That's right. Heaven saw what was going on. And now nothing in your life is still. The door is now open. The order has been signed. What was held for you is on its way. Now you can go in peace. And let your life show that this hour has come. Say it with all your heart. Yes, I believe. And I'm going to walk in it. And let that statement be the first step in everything I have planned for you. You are about to enter your divine future. But remember, this breakthrough is not for you alone. Your testimony is the bridge someone else will use to reach their own miracle. Archangel Michael is inviting you to visit community through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. By joining our like-minded community, you are no longer praying in isolation. You are adding your voice to a global sanctuary where we discuss the Word daily and stand in the gap for one another. This is not poetry. When Jesus says give and heaven will open over you on this platform. Every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and a hedge of safety for your family. Now is your time. Step into our community prayer wall. Share your heart. And as you give, watch God multiply what you let go of. Let's finish this journey together. Visit our community now. Join the family and see your heavens open. Before we get to the end of this powerful story, let's reflect on this deep truth. You did not find this message by accident. This is a divine appointment meant specifically for you. You are being invited into a protected faith-filled community at the link in the description and pinned comment. Place where divine abundance is not just a hope but a promise built on the Word. By heading to the site right now, you are unlocking access to a sacred community of like-minded believers. When you join our membership tiers, you gain immediate entry to powerful content, daily devotions, and divine insights that are hidden from the world. This is your chance to enter a sanctuary where you will receive spiritual guidance, unwavering support on our prayer wall, and speedy progress toward your destiny. Do not let this moment of destiny pass you by. Your breakthrough is waiting. Join our inner circle through the exclusive link in the description. This is how you guarantee you never miss the personalized messages and spiritual warfare tools meant to elevate your life. If you feel called to deepen your connection, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. For those who want to amplify this work and carry the light home, you can find our guided ebooks and Bibles in the pinned comment. Whether you join as a member or sow a seed through our resources, your presence and energy change the world. Take the step. Your abundance awaits.